Hi everyone, and welcome to the Honeybee Knits podcast channel. My name is Melissa and I am coming to you from Springboro, Ohio, which is about 45 minutes north of Cincinnati, where I live with my husband, our 2 cats, and our dog Izzy. Today is Saturday, June 22nd, I believe. And it's a pretty cloudy day. We're supposed to get some more rain in a few hours. That's all it's done is rain the past couple weeks. But regardless, it's a beautiful day outside. It's not too hot, not too cold. And I have such a big episode for you guys. I have so much to share. I have finished objects. I have new whips. I have some spinning, I have a giveaway, and I have a ton of acquisitions because I was not good these past couple weeks. So I am wearing my same shirt I wore last time. I promise this was not recorded on the same day. I just really like the shirt and it was clean, so I wore it again. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoy this podcast. It's a little all over the place. I don't really use show notes, but if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I'm glad you found something that you liked, and I hope that you enjoyed today's episode as well. So I'm going to jump right in, and I'm actually going to start with the giveaway that I have. I only have one. Next podcast, I believe it's the next podcast. I should have 3 because we'll have the June sock knit along wrapping up. We'll have the it might be the following one, I'm not sure. I podcast every 2 weeks, so whenever the end date is, we'll have the June sock wrapping up. We will have all of our quarterly knit alongs wrapping up. So we have the Honeybee Knits knit along, which the thread is open in Revelry. Every quarter, just post any finished objects that you've used with Honeybee Knits yarn. It can be mixed with other yarn. There's no rules on how much of the project has to be made out of Honeybee Knits yarn. But yeah, so there's that will be wrapping up for quarter 2. And then also for quarter 2, we will have the Whip It Thursday cowl wrapping up, which is also any projects, any languishing whips that have been casted on for 3 months or longer that you finish, you can enter into that thread. So yeah, so don't forget about those knit alongs. Those are on my Ravelry group on Ravelry. I am Melissa1308, and the podcast group is the Honeybee Knits podcast. Also, you can, I always forget to mention this, but if you would like to get a hold of me or see what I'm up to, you can follow me on Instagram, which I am honey_bee_knits. I am not very active on there as of right now. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a break for the summer. I will still pop on every once in a while and I'm still checking it. So feel free to comment or message me on there. You can also find me on Etsy under the Honeybee Knits Co.etsy.com. I have lots of things in the shop right now, tonals and etc. I do have a shipment of yarn that's coming on Monday, and I do expect to have some new colorways in the shop soon, so keep an eye on that. And I've also been slowly working on a huge batch of medium-sized zipper bags. So for those of you that have asked me where my bags are, I'm working on a huge update. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a few months probably before it's ready because I'm making a lot of bags. But as far as shows and events coming up, I don't have anything planned for the next month. So if anything does pop up, I will keep you updated on that. But for now, we're just going to focus on knitting all the things, dyeing all the things, and planning all the things. So with that, I have the color cowl for May to June. It runs from the 15th to the 15th every month. And this month's color was pink. So let me show you the prize, the main prize, before I get into who the winner is. Winners, because I am doing pattern prizes this time. So the first part of the prize is this gorgeous bag from, and it's rather large, from Knit for Brains, Laura Brady from Knit for Brains. And it's got this beautiful lining, and it's this bright pink watermelon bag. I love this bag. This is actually, it won't like, this to me is a sweater's quantity bag. It won't fit the sweater in there, but it'll fit the yarn for the sweater. So, but yeah, this is a nice big bag, and all of her bags come with this needle keeper. So you will also receive that. And she sent this little progress keeper along. So you get that. And you will also receive a skein of Honeybee Knits yarn in the signature colorway. The theme was pink, so you get pink. And I'm actually going to fold this back up. Boop. Okay. So this is the prize package. And the winner of that is Raven Diva. So congratulations. Please contact me on Revelry with your address, and I will get that sent out to you. And I also drew 2 pattern prize winners, and the winners, so just contact me on Revelry with what pattern you would like, up to $7 US, and the winner of that is the Carrie Ann and Work P. So thank you guys so much for participating in that thread. Our current cal is open and the color is orange, so anything that you knit that has any amount of orange, make sure you put it in there, and you will win, have a chance to win an orange prize package. What else was I going to tell you about that? Oh, if you're waiting on a prize package or a pattern from me, I plan on doing that on Monday. So I'm going to just do a whole bunch of packages and send them all out at once. So if you haven't received it, or, you know, you're just kind of like wondering like, hey, Melissa's slacking, I haven't got my prize yet. It's because I only send them out like once a month. I give everybody an opportunity to message me. And then once, you know, some time passes, then I send everything out at once. So it is coming. I promise I haven't forgot about you. So with that, we are going to jump right in to finished objects. And I'm going to start with socks because I like starting with socks. And I finished my Desert Vista Dye Works socks for this month. This is the Bow Cop colorway and her Zian base, which is her sparkle base. And my lighting, let me turn my camera lighting up. Maybe that's better. So I don't know if you can see that sparkle in there. Sparkly. But anyway, so I recently switched to doing shorty socks. I used to do a 60-row leg, but I've only been doing a 20-row leg, and it's allowing me to use up 50% of the skein, which meets the minimum requirements for her knit along. But I then have 50% of the skein left over that I can trade with a friend, and then I get double colorways, so it's pretty fantastic. But anyway, I really love this colorway. I do believe it's a Christmas colorway. I don't know why that is standing out in my mind as being a Christmas colorway. It doesn't look very Christmassy, but I'm pretty sure that she had this listed around Christmas time. So, and these are on my Honeybee Knits sock blockers that I bought from Knitting Left. Aren't they the cutest, my little bumblebees? So, and they got my little logo at the top. But anyway, so I love these socks. I love switching to shorty socks because I get them done faster and I have more yarn left over. And I wear them more often. So that is my first finished object. My second finished object is this hat for Jason. I'm not a hat person, especially not slouchy, but so this is the hat that I made Jason, that he will probably never wear. He's got a long head, so this is not as slouchy on him. He probably only has about that much a slouch, and it actually looks really good on him. So the yarn is, what is the yarn? This is, I should know this. I've knit 3 pairs of socks and a hat out of this, and I cast it on something new last night out of the same colorway, and I am done with this colorway. So this is the Dark Side of the Moon colorway, Pink Floyd reference from Mustache Yarns, and this is her sport weight base. And I knit a modified version of the sock head hat. So knitting, no. Yarn Hoarder on her project page. I had asked for hat pattern suggestions, and I really just wanted a basic hat, but I didn't want to worry about converting needle size or stitch counts for sport weight yarn. And somebody had told me that Yarn Hoarder had made a sock head hat in the sport weight yarn, which was perfect because when I asked Jason what he wanted, he said he wanted the same hat as my dad, which my dad I made a sock head hat out of, but it was in fingering. So I just used, she has project page notes on Ravelry that told me how much to cast on, how long to knit the ribbing, what size to how long to knit up here, and what needle size to use. Now I will say I think I only knit this part, I think I did 5 and 5. So I did 5 inches of ribbing, 5 inches of the hat, and then the bind off, or the decreases. And I just kind of tried it on Jason as I went, said, how does it fit? How much longer do you want me to go? Etc., etc. So, I mean, it turned out really nice. I really like using self-striping yarns for things other than socks. I'm just tired of using this colorway. Like I said, I've knit 3 pairs of socks, so 2 pairs of shorties and a full pair, this hat, and then you'll see in my whips that I've casted on something else for Jason. Originally, I was going to knit 2 of these hats, but he decided he wanted something else out of this instead. So that's what I did, or am working on. So I got that, and then Scrappy Sunday. This isn't really a finished object. It's more like part of a finished object. So I am working on my stained glass blanket on Scrappy Sunday. I work on my cozy, I put 2 squares in my Cozy Memories blanket, and I put a square in my stained glass blanket. And then I work on one of my Advent projects, which, guys, just wait to see what's coming up. Anyway, so every time I finish a square, I don't really show this as I'm going through it, but each time I finish a square, I like to show it on the podcast. And I do want to say that this blanket is made out of all Honeybee Knits yarn colorways. So what I do when I dye up a new colorway, I throw a mini in there, and then I keep it for myself on my Queen Bean base, and then it'll eventually end up in this blanket so that I can kind of show how certain colorways knit up. So for example, this colorway is my Pride and Prejudice colorway in the middle there. And then I have Your Highness over here. This one is, oh, I'm sorry, this is Mansfield Park right here. This is Pride and Prejudice. They're very similar, but this one has more of the mauve tones in it. And this particular square, what I do, this is completely random. I close my eyes and I pick out a mini from a big basket of minis. And actually Jason sometimes picks them out for me too. So whatever square I knit that week is completely random and not decided ahead of time. And so I really like how this square turned out, considering it was completely random. So we have Emma right here. I had a lot of my new Pride and Prejudice colorways in here, which is crazy because I actually mix it up really well every time I add a new one in there. So they shouldn't be right next to each other. So I have Emma, we have Mansfield Park, Pride and Prejudice. Right here we have Your Highness, Panning for, no, this is my new one. This is Copper Penny. It's similar to Panning for Gold, but it's more of a coppery color. Which this one, I don't think I have any more of this in the shop. I think I'm gonna add some more. I have Signature down here, and then everything else is actually Yarn of the Month colorways. So actually this one is Penny Royal, which I don't think I released. I have a lot of colorways I made I've never released. This was our Easter sock knit along. This was our Valentine's Day sock. What else? This one was this was a Yarn of the Month club colorway for Fight Club, I believe. I think that was Fight Club. Yeah, so I really like how this turned out, and give me just a second and I will show you my last square in case you need a refresher. Just in case you don't remember my last square I knit, here it is. So I really like how this blanket is turning out so far. Obviously I only have 2 squares finished, but eventually these will all be seamed together into one big blanket, and I'm really, really thrilled with how these are turning out. So I did start a new square last week, so in about 2 months you guys will get to see another square, and then each time I show a new square I will show you the other squares as well. And I really love this. So I'm making this out of my queen bee base, and then I just use my natural undyed queen bee in between all the different squares. So I'm really excited to have two. I did start in January and it's June and I only have 2 squares done. So I'm assuming that I would probably only have 4 squares done each year, which I'm completely fine with. I don't rush my blankets. It's something I like to take my time on. I will say though, my Cozy Memories blanket, it is officially big enough that we have started using it on my couch, and my husband has stole it. It used to be on my couch. Now it's on his couch. And it is a lighter weight blanket. It's all fingering weight yarn, and I knit it on 2.5 millimeter, the same as I knit my socks. This is knit on a US 3, so it's a little bit denser when it comes to the fabric. So the fabric isn't as dense, but it's more squishy, if that makes sense. My Cozy Memories blanket is pretty stiff because of the gauge that I'm knitting it at. But with that, it is small yarn on small needles, and it is kind of like it's see-through, right? So like when you're underneath of it, you can see through it. So it's not very heavy, and I prefer a thick blanket. And he sweats, so he needs a lighter blanket. So I think that one probably will end up being his. And then I'm thinking about knitting the Bits and Bobs blanket eventually, once I get my Advent projects done for the year. I'm thinking about casting on a Bits and Bobs because I have a ton of leftover yarns that are really too small for swaps, but not big enough they're too small for swaps, too small for other projects. And to be honest, I probably will never knit them into anything else, and I do need a thicker blanket. So I think Bits and Bobs holding 2 fingering weight together on a larger needle size might do the trick. So, and I really like the look of it. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, so I'm just really excited. It might take me a few years to finish one blanket, but when they're done, it's something I'm going to have the rest of our lives, and I'm going to have a lot of them eventually because I have a lot of yarn. And I do like knitted blankets. I'm not a fan of crochet blankets. I'm not a fan of crocheting in general. I like crochet finished objects. I don't like to crochet. So my last finished object, if you're counting, this is number 4, because I count that square as a finished object, right? So this is my 4th finished object, and it's a big one, guys. I've been working on it since December. It is my Winter Wonderland of Minis wrap using the Teeny Button Advent calendar for 2018. And guys, I love this so much. So Laura Brady of Knit for Brains made this pattern, and we included it in my advent calendars. It is on her Etsy shop, so if this is something that you are interested in potentially making, if you have some extra scraps left over, I highly recommend it. And I'm just going to point out a few of my favorite sections and a few of my favorite colorways. So this was one of my favorite sections right here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's like this chevron-y section. And this one right here, I don't know why, but this one reminds me of deer prints. So really like this one. I like this one, and okay, this one right here I think is my favorite section because it's one of my favorite knitted sections and one of my favorite colors in the shawl. But overall, I just really had so much fun knitting this, and it's such a good project, right? It took a while, but I mean, you can wear it as a scarf, you can wear it as a wrap. Personally, I really like this as a scarf. I think this is probably going to be how do I want to do this here? I think I want to loop it this way and come around like this. There we go. Like that. Yeah, this is probably going to be my winter scarf this year because it's just so pretty. I mean, her colorways. Okay, so I wasn't going to buy a Teeny Button Advent calendar this year, and once I finished this and just looked at the whole thing together, I'm like, her colorways, man, her colorways are so pretty. Every single one has just been every time I opened up a new one, I'm like, oh my, there were a few I opened up and I was like, I don't know if I like this colorway, but then I knit it up and I'm like, oh, I really like that. So I absolutely love it. And I think I might have to get her advent calendar again this year. I'm going to try to hold off and maybe she'll sell out. But I don't know. I really liked it. It's beautiful and I really enjoyed knitting it, and it's such a big wrap. It's so big. And so that's like a quarter of the size, but it's beautiful. I love it so much and I'm incredibly happy with it, and nobody is getting this. This is definitely mine. Okay, so with that, as I was knitting the advent calendars, this is going to be a little bit of acquisitions, but really not, because I've had this forever. But, so I did not open the advent calendar at all. So I was only opening them as I came to the days when I knit them. And so that means I finally got to Christmas Day, and I wanted to show you, this was her Christmas Day colorway. And I am actually going to cast these on today for Sock Saturday. And Kimmy's birthday. Happy birthday, Kim. So my friend Kim's birthday is today, and she wanted to have a Zoom cast-on party. So we are having a Zoom cast-in party today, and we're all going to eat cake and cast on all the things. And I'm actually going to let myself cast on a few things. I've been sticking really well to my schedule, so I've only been casting on things when I finish something else. But guys, I'm going cast on crazy today, and you'll see in acquisitions why, but I'm so excited. This is going to be one of my cast-ons today, and I'm going to be making, I think it's the London Bridge socks by Mina Phillip. And they will be, I've been knitting a lot of shorty socks. These ones will actually be full-length socks because I really want to show off this yarn, and I've got a mini with it too, so I might as well. But it's just really beautiful. So once I have these socks done, I will be completely done knitting with the yarn. From her advent calendar, whatever I have left over will just go into my scrappy blankets. So I'm excited about that. And then I do have more acquisitions I'll show in a little bit. But I want to get into whips, but before I do, let me show you some spinning. So I have a lot to talk about today, and I don't have a lot of time, so I'm really sorry if I'm rushing through this. But I have done a single gradient since I last saw you. So I purchased this in Maryland, and I broke it a few times when I was winding it up, but I'll fix it when I'm applying. But it is basically, I did 2 4-ounce bags for Maryland. And I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time showing this. So one of the bags went from white to black. So it went white, and then it had like light gray, medium gray, dark gray, black. And the other one started at black, and it went black, dark gray, medium gray, light pink, dark pink. And so I'm going to apply those all together, and it's going to be so pretty. I don't know if you can see all the different colors in there. It's looking like one shade of pink, but I promise there's like multiple shades in there. But anyway, so it's a lot. It's going to apply up beautifully, and I'm really excited to have this one applied up this week. So that should be a finished object on the next podcast. So with that, I'm going to jump right into whips, and I'm going to start off with Monday, which is Sweater Monday. And as you know, I ran out of yarn for my Spellman pullover. I ordered yarn yesterday, so it should be here on Monday, and I will dye it up this week. So hopefully it won't be done before the next podcast, I don't think. But I'll be able to work on it here and there to get the sleeves done, and that will be done. But I casted on a new sweater, and this is my swatch. So I swatched for the Saturday Morning Sweater by Tristan Molina, Dragon Horde Designs, Dragon Horde yarn, and I used my Painted Black colorway and Signature colorway, and this is a new Aran base that I eventually plan on carrying in my shop. I might put some pre-orders up for this once the sweater's done, we'll see. But so that is the color palette for it, and I was a few, I think I was like half a stitch over gauge, but the sweater is supposed to be oversized, and I picked the size that fits my bust exactly because I stretchy block. This yarn stretches a lot, so there's plenty of stretch that I can put in there to make it the width that I want. And I was also half a stitch over gauge. So I know that it's going to be a little bit like 1 to 2 inches wider anyway. And I don't really like my sweaters incredibly baggy, which is unfortunate because my Spellman pullover, I lost weight since I casted it on. So it's like incredibly baggy on me, but I still love it. It's super cozy. Guys, I have spent 2 nights working on this sweater. And let me show you what I have. I've already gotten to the body. Like, how ridiculously crazy is this? So, first of all, I'm going to point out the obvious. You can definitely see where I switched skeins the first time. So I dye in 3s, and this pattern for my size, I needed 5 skeins of each color. And so I dyed 3 of the skeins in one batch and 3 in the other, but I only had 5, and I had only ordered 1 bag of Aran, which comes with 10 skeins. So I had just enough for my sweater. So I couldn't do 3 skeins Aran, 3 skeins Aran. I had to do 3 skeins Aran and 2 skeins Aran, and I added a skein of DK. And because I added that skein of DK, it took up the dye differently in that batch. And so I had 1 skein that was much lighter than the rest. And had I realized how much lighter it was, my original plan was just do lightest to darkest, but then all 4 of my other skeins match really well. Like, this is 2 skeins. Like I think somewhere around here, I added in a 3rd skein, and you can't even see the transition. So, so I thought it wouldn't be noticeable. Had I known it was going to be that noticeable, I probably would have rotated skeins. However, alternated skeins. This is a color block shawl. Meaning, so like, it's just gonna have, once I get to the area where I need to add the pink in, it's gonna be like a hard line pink. And so with this light gray at the top, I actually kind of like the effect that it's gonna have. So it's gonna be light gray, dark gray, hot pink. So it's almost like I planned the color blocking that way, which I didn't. But I decided, I had put so much work into it, I didn't want to rip it out because I had finished the skein and added this skein before I realized how much different it was. And honestly, the front at the top of that skein looks darker, so it kind of like just, yeah, it's fine. The back isn't as bad. So I did decide to do the shoulder shaping, which you can actually see it right here, but that's going to block out. I just wanted mine. And what that does is it makes it more into, see how it's like a scoop neck? If I wouldn't have done the shoulder shaping, it would have been a boat neck, like it would have been up here. So the shoulder shaping just gives me a little bit more wiggle room around my neck. So I really like that she added that into the pattern. And this pattern, I love it, and it's going to be so hard to go back to a fingering weight sweater because this is knitting up so fast. I'm using size, I don't know, 10, I think. Yeah, US 10. I'm using, actually, I did a trade for some needles. These are my Addie Clicks, and I'm actually dyeing up the yarn for that person this week. So I'm excited because she's going to make an Elton sweater, which is mohair and fingering weight, and it's going to be in my signature colorway. So I am dyeing that up this week for her, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. But anyway, the first night, I knit all the way to this first stitch marker right there. So I had gotten all the raglan increases done the first night. The second night, I finished the body increases, and then I did about 2 inches on the body itself. So I'm well on my way. So this is where I split for my sleeves. So the second night I did from here to here. So I didn't have as much knitting time the second night, but I mean, I got a lot done on this. So hopefully I will have 2 days to work because every Monday I work on this. So I will have 2 knitting days before you guys see this next. So I'm really hoping to have the pink added in and possibly even the body done on this. We'll see. But I mean, that's crazy. 2 days and I have my size sweater already on the body. So, and I will talk more about these stitch markers and acquisitions. But I am really happy with this. It's really the only thing I want to work on right now, but I have other stuff that needs love, so that is what I've been doing. But I love this pattern, and I could see myself making another one. But I have so many sweaters right now that I don't think that I'm going to be making another one anytime soon, but it's definitely going into that category of the Andrea Mowry So Faded sweater that I made twice. I normally don't like reknitting patterns, but that So Faded sweater, I've knitted twice, and I already have 2 more planned on top of that, if not more. So that's something I could knit over and over again. This is like the Aran weight version of that I could just knit over and over again in multiple different color combinations. The only difference is I have a ton of fingering weight. I don't have a lot of Aran weight. So if I decide to dye up more Aran weight, or if I ever fall in love with Aran weight that I have to have right then and I buy a sweaters quantity, which probably won't happen because it's quite expensive. Like I said, it's the same price as a regular skein of yarn, and it takes 10 skeins to knit up. So if you're fluffy like me, it can get expensive really quickly. So we'll see, but I'm really happy with it. And that is in my Bags by Awesome Granny. And I love this bag. I love it. My library fabric. My next WIP, you saw spinning. I don't have any diamond painting to show. I'm on my last canvas and I wish it was over. I'm not even halfway done. I have 11, I calculated, and I have 11 weeks left of that. So yeah, it won't be done until, like, I think we said September. So that's fun. I just want that done. So I will move into my WIP It Thursday project, which I was hoping to have done or close to being done. And I thought I was going to get to draw another one today, another project, but it's going to take me at least another 2 weeks to finish. And this is getting boring for me to show because you guys have seen it so much, but this is what we have. I think I've put in 3 more diamond sections, maybe 4. I have 2 more diamond sections to go. Well, actually, let me look. So I got to get to 16. I have 14. I'm halfway through one. So I have 1.5. I'm halfway through a diamond section. 1.5 diamond sections to go. And then I have to do this border right here along with this ribbing section, or this garter section. Is that ribbing? It's a seed stitch. Ugh. So it's a seed stitch section at the bottom. So I might have and then I have to sew it all together, seam it up. So I might have this done next time you see me. If not, I will be super close. This is my second priority project this week. I say second priority because the next thing I'm going to show you is my first priority to get done. So that is that. I'm using Kobasi, which is cotton bamboo silk blend, and it's by Haiku, and it's in the Seattle Sky colorway. And I can't wait until I see you next time, because hopefully this will be done and I'll be picking out a new WIP for WIP It Thursday. And hopefully it's a small one. I mean, I've got mittens in there and I've got 1 skein shawls, and that's what I want to pull out. There's a sweater in there, and I really don't want to pull the sweater out. But if I do, I'm sure I'll just be knitting 2 sweaters a week instead of 1 sweater. I don't know. Anyway, so I cast on something new last night for Small Project Friday. Mail's here. And I bet you guys can't guess the colorway. This is Mustache Yarns Dark Side of the Moon colorway. And I was going to make another hat for Jason's friend to match Jason's hat. And he's like, I want a matching scarf. So it's rolling really bad when I block it. When I block it, it won't roll so bad. So I'll just show you kind of the end here. So I've got a some garter at the bottom, and I have 3 stitches of garter. I didn't find a pattern for this. I kind of just made it up, and my friend Kim helped me. So I have 3 stitches of garter on either side as kind of like a border, and then there's 30 stitches in between. This is sport weight yarn. I'm using a size 5 needle. So I'm hoping this blocks out and it doesn't continually roll on him, because right now it's like incredibly rolly. But this is what he wanted. It's not a wide scarf, but it's not a narrow scarf either. He wanted it about 6 inches wide. For somebody that doesn't wear wear the knitwear I make him, like, he's very picky. So anyway, so this is what I casted on and finished last night. I had about a quarter of the skein left over from the hat, and then I had a full other skein of sport weight, which is my last skein. Thank God. I'm so ready to be done with this colorway. But I do like how it's knitting up into the scarf. I think it'll be a nice scarf. And I've done, I think the quarter of the skein got me, I want to say 3 1/4 repeats of this striping sequence. So, and I've got, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was 2 1/4. But either way, this is what I have left of, because her balls come 50 grams, 250 grams. So this is what I have left. I finished the quarter skein. This is what I have left of the first 50. This is what I have. I have a full second 50. So I have about like 75 more grams to put in this. And I'm really hoping that my knitting skills are like up to par next Friday and I have lots of knitting time, because I want this done. But regardless, this is going to be my priority project this week. And what I mean by that is when I'm at work, I take a project with me that if I have conference calls or if I have trainings I have to do, or just on my breaks and lunches and stuff, I take a project with me, and it's not typically the project for that day because I have my knitting schedule. So I will pick something that like either I want done really quickly or that's super close to being done. So this is my first priority project for the next 2 weeks. So I want this done. I want this casted off before anything else. Like after today, like, of course I'm still going to do my schedule, but like when I have extra knitting time, this is going to be my travel project because I want this done. I want this done and I don't want to see this colorway ever again. But I will, of course, because I have enough fingering weight scraps left over to make another pair of shorty socks. I'm going to take some out for my scrap blanket and see how much I have left. So I may be making another pair of socks out of it. But that would be the absolutely most I would ever make out of that. So this is my first priority project. If I finish this, I'll make my Whip It Thursday project my priority project. So hopefully those are both finished objects next time you see me. Acquisitions. It's moving right along. So I have a friend, Heather. Well, she's indirectly my friend through Zoom and contacts. And she makes these amazing stitch markers. And she does have an Etsy shop. And I really can't remember what the Etsy shop name is. I think it's like Stitch Markers by Heather, or I am going to look it up and I'm going to put it in the comments for you because I'm so bad and I really need you guys. And also message me directly and I'll just send you the link. But don't comment. Message me on Instagram or Ravelry and I will send you the link. Because if you comment, I will probably forget. But these she makes with paper origami. And I don't know how she gets them from paper origami to stitch markers, but she does. Excuse the spoiler for the other. But look at those. That's paper. But she puts some sort of coating on them. They're super lightweight and super cute. And I'm absolutely want every single one she has. That's watermelon. I got a set of 5. So I got the watermelon and I got the pear. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. And it came in a set of 5. So let me find the other one. I got an orange. I think that's an orange. And that was another spoiler. And then on my sweater, I have an apple and a kiwi. So there's the apple one. And then there's the kiwi one. Oh, I've got the wrong sides facing out. But oh my gosh, they're super cute. She has a few different collections in her Etsy shop. And spoiler alert, I might be doing a collaboration with her. We'll see. We're still in the beginning. Talks about it. But I'm really excited about it. So that is my first acquisition. My second acquisition. I my friend Kim in Cleveland, whose birthday is today. Happy birthday, Kim! She works at a shop called Around the Table Yarns. And I talked about this a little bit on my last podcast. I ordered this when I was podcasting last. I ordered some yarn from her because I was having a bad week. And I said, send me some pictures of what you got in your shop. And she sent them to me. And I was like, I'll take this, this, and this. And I circled it on the picture, sent it back, and transaction was done like that fast. So this is from Superfine Yarn Co. And this is her Erie singles base. She is from Cleveland as well, which it's E-R-I-E, because we have Lake Erie. And, okay, yeah. So, yeah, anyway, it's just gorgeous. I'm like trying to find the colorway on here. Let's see. Amoris, I think is the name. Anyway, this color is called Amoris, and it's just so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Guys, I mean, come on. I can't. Nope, I just can't. This one is called Dreamboat. Let me make it. Oh my God, it's so pretty. It's beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. And then this one is called Arabella. And do you guys know, I'm just going to keep these tags off because I'm about to scan these up. I'm going to cake these up today and cast them on for Kim's birthday party shenanigans. Do you know what this is going to be? This, my friends, is going to be the Oracle shawl. Can you even? Okay, so this will be the center. This will be the color B. So this will be, so I think the way it goes is you do, I might be wrong, but this is my guess. I think you do this in the center, and then you do this, and then you brioche these two. I can't remember. I don't know. This is basically, it's A, B, and C. So the only time, these will touch, I don't think these will ever brioche. I think these do brioche at one point in time. I'm not sure. Either way, no. I think these brioche and these brioche. And then you have stripes of this, and you have stripes of this, and then you have stripes of this. And it's just going to be so fantastically amazing, and I'm so excited for it. I'm a little worried that these two colors are too similar, that if they do touch, it's going to be like, you know, not very contrasty. But I don't think that they touch in the pattern. I don't think that they do. And if they do, though, I mean, come on, who cares? It's still gorgeous anyway. But anyway, I'm casting that on today, along with my London Bridge socks. Are you guys keeping track of this? Because I'm casting on all the things today. So that was part of my acquisitions. And I also purchased this bag from her. And I don't know who the maker is. I'm sorry. I'm really bad about that. Sailor Girl Fibers. And here it is. Oh my gosh. Can you even? This is, there's another owl on that side, but it's a gorgeous bag. Look at the inside. Like, oh my gosh, it's so well made. These are her clamshell bags. So basically they open up into yarn bowls. I don't know if you're supposed to fold these down or not. I think you are. I don't know. But either way, they open up into these little yarn bowls. They have an amazing double zipper on them. They're very well made. They got these little, anyway, I just love this bag so much. And this week they got a bigger version of this in the shop. And it's not the same, it's not a clamshell bag, but it's the same fabric. And I bought it because it's like medium shawl size. And I'm like, I need something for my Oracle shawl because how well does this match? So anyway, that should be on its way to me soon. So that was my purchase from Kim. Well, from Around the Table Yarns in Cleveland. If you're in Cleveland, you should go check their shop out. It's beautiful. And I only know this, I haven't been there, but I've seen pictures. So I had dinner with my friend Carrie Ann Thursday night, and she gave me this beautiful little wallet. Like I can put my cards and money in there, my driver's license, and just clip it onto one of my project bags. Guys, it's made out of cork. Like I can't, and she said they have different like colors of this and stuff, and I really haven't seen this anywhere before. And I told her she already has these tags, say the Carrie-Ann. And I told her, I'm like, listen, you need to open up a shop, girl, because I want one of these in every color. Like, I love this. She did such a beautiful job. They're just amazing. It's beautiful, and she said they have them in different colors, and she makes big bags where, like, you know how like some people use wax canvas at the bottom, where she uses the cork at the bottom. And her stitching is beautiful, her construction's amazing, she has amazing details with the colors, and everything's just like perfect, right? So she definitely needs to open up a shop, and I love that. Also, a few weeks ago, I ordered Draco, which is a new Harry Potter colorway that Nomadic came out with. So I've got that. And then she just came out with Astronomy Tower, which I just ordered. So that'll be here in a few weeks on her sparkle base. Confession time. Does anybody, if you've been with me a while, I don't know why I do this to myself. I really don't. But sorry about the crinkling. How many times have I complained about my Felici? Like, I'm like, I don't use it. And I become more and more disappointed with their colorways they come out with. And I'm like, I'm not buying it anymore. Well, they came out with a new line. And what did I do? I bought it all. Because I have no self-control. But I do finally have a plan to knit it all up, because I only have 2 hats left to make after Jason's scarf for Small Project Friday, and then all of my single skein project obligation knitting is done. So guess what Friday is going to be? Did you guess Felici Friday? Because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be Felici Friday. And most of the time it's going to be socks, but I might throw a pair of fingerless mitts or a hat in there somewhere, because I've got so much of this. I got 2 skeins of every colorway for like the past 4 years. And then some when they re-release colorways. So I have so much of it. It's such a really affordable yarn. There is some complaints about the color changes in Felici, how they don't necessarily match up, and there's bleeding, and sometimes you'll get a random pop of color in something that shouldn't be there. But my thing is, it's $5 for a self-striping skein of yarn, 50 grams. So I don't really expect a whole lot of quality. Honestly, like, okay, so Knit Picks for me is like an affordable soft yarn to use. It's an affordable wool. It's similar to price to acrylic, but it's a wool yarn. And so I like Knit Picks for that factor, but their quality is not always 100% there. And I already know that about Knit Picks, so I know that when I'm going to order it. So I just have that expectation that it's not going to be like the greatest quality indie dyed yarn I've ever seen. But it is good quality, and it's nice yarn to make, especially for people that you don't know that they're knit worthy or not, because it's not very expensive, it's really soft, and it's very versatile. So I recommend it. But the problem is I just don't knit with it. So I'm making it Felici Friday, and we're just going to knit all the Felici on Fridays. So this one is their new colorway. It's called Pinwheel. And the reason why I'm not happy with this color, and it's not that I'm not happy with it. So the reason why I don't really like the new colorways is because they have like this dusty hue to them, and that is just not my color palette. Reminds me of like this really like 70s feel, and that's just not who I am. I like the bright, bold, poppy colors. But the one thing about it is that this is really the only yarn I have that I can knit other people things with, because I buy all bright, poppy, sparkly yarn. Well, my dad doesn't want to wear bright, poppy, sparkly yarn. My mom doesn't want to wear it. My stepdad doesn't wear it. My stepmom doesn't want to wear it. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, they don't want to wear that. Jason doesn't want to wear it. So this yarn is great yarn to make gifts for other people. So whether or not I'll do that, probably not. I'll probably end up making it all for me anyway, but the option is there. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wing it. I'm just winging it. So this is Pinwheel. And I bought 2 skeins of each. I don't know why, because I'm making shorty socks for myself now, so I don't know why I do the things I do. This is Augie. This is Playhouse. This is Ribbit. Ribbit, Ribbit. This one is Chelsea. And Grape Gatsby. And Punky. There's a lot of yellows and oranges in this batch of Felici. This one is Coffee Break. And this one is Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows. It's a very dusty rainbow color. Let's see, how many is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's one more in here that I haven't shown. Oh, this one. This one is called Sally. As in, I believe, Jack and Sally. I don't know. Maybe. They have Chelsea and Sally in there. That's interesting. My niece's name is Sally. So, Coffee Break, Ribbit, Grape, Gatsby. I think I've shown everything. Punky, Augie, Pinwheel, Cloudy with a Chance of Rainbows, Sally, and Chelsea. Yep. So we're good. So that is the Felici whole acquisition purchase thing that I went down. And I know I'm not looking at the camera, I'm being rude. So, oh my gosh. I did it. I thought this podcast was going to be 2 hours long because I had so much to show, but it's 45 minutes plus this chit chat part. 45 minutes and I showed everything. You guys must have like a whirlwind headache because I must have talked really fast because I don't know how I showed that much stuff in 45 minutes. It's a little ridiculous. I think I used to talk really slow in my old podcasts or something because I used to not be able to show this much stuff in 2 hours, much less 45 minutes. Hopefully there's no acquisitions next time because I made 2 purchases that were over $100 this past couple weeks. And I just really would like to keep it more in like the 1 or 2 purchases within the $35 range instead of the $200 range. But, you know, I've been doing really well and it's a work in progress. Oh, and cast-ons today. So I'm doing the London Bridge socks and I'm doing the Oracle shawl. That's probably it. I was going to cast on like 2 more pairs of vanilla socks, but I have so many vanilla socks on the needles already that that's really not necessary. I want to talk about my knitting journal. And of course it's neon rainbow because you guys would be disappointed if it was anything but neon rainbow. So sorry if the pages hurts anybody's eyes because they're hot pink. So I made this notebook. I used to have a different notebook I used, and I talked about this last time, but I decided to actually bring it up and show you this time, where I tracked every project I made, every gram I used, what the yarn was, what I had left over, blah, 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 how many yards I used, and it was just too much. It was too much. I like that kind of record, but it was just too much, right? So I made this really simple notebook with a list, and so it's separated into sections. So I have my 2019 knitting whips. And on the first page, I have socks. And these are all the socks that I have as knitting whips. So anytime I cast on a pair of socks, I just add it to the list. And when I finish the socks, I cross it off and say what day I finished them. So as you can see, I've got 7 pairs of old languishing sock whips up here that I need to work on eventually, which when I get through my whip jar, that's probably what I'll do. Or maybe I'll do that for Small Project Friday before I switch to Felici Friday. That way I'm not casting on socks when I already have socks ready to go. Now, each one of those socks were started toe up, and that's the reason why I haven't worked on them. I got all of them to the heel, the first sock to the heel, and put them on my foot, and they don't fit me, and I don't like them. So I'm ripping them all out, and I'm going to start them again cuffed down. So that's what I'll do when I finish my, I have that scarf and 2 hats. I'll finish these socks first because it shouldn't take me too long. Between Sock Saturday and Small Project Friday, I should be able to get all those done. Especially because I'm making shorties now. So for shawls, here is my shawls list, and I'm going to read it out because I know you guys can't read my writing. But so socks, and since it's June, I'll go ahead and just give you an update at the end of this, showing this. I'll tell you how many of everything that I've knit versus how many whips I have, etc. So my shawls, so I have my shawls page. I have mittens, hats, cows, and scarves page. I have sweaters, ponchos, and blankets. And then that's my knitting whips. And then I have spinning whips, which, as you can see, I only work on one project at a time and I finish it before I start a new one. Typically, sometimes like around Avid time or whatever, I had like multiple things I had to apply. So this is what I need to apply next week, and then I'll be able to cross this off and add a line for whatever I start. And then I've got diamond painting whips, which this whole section is going to get torn out. I've got one more to do, and then I'm not doing diamond painting for a very long time. The one I'm working on now, 11 weeks and it's done. And then I have, after all my whips, I have my cues. So this is my knitting cue. And as you can see, this was my goal. This is everything that I wanted to knit this year. And a lot of it's crossed off. I've done a really good job. The problem is that I've done all the small project stuff. So everything that's left on this list, with the exception of 2 hats, are sweaters and 3 skein shawls. So I've got the Tecumseh, the Sunset Highway, the Zweig, the Sepia. So I've got those sweaters that I want to knit. And then I've got the Best Friend shawl, Springtime in Paris. And With Grace in Your Heart. And then I have some Rhinebeck stuff that I bought that I want to knit. So I have some Rhinebeck socks, 3 pairs of Rhinebeck socks, a hat, and some mittens. Oh, I do have some Small Project Friday stuff still. Oh, I've got plenty of things to work on off of this list. They were just at the bottom. So Small Project Friday is not going anywhere anytime soon. And then I have my spinning cue. So these are things that are in my stash for spinning, and I have a lot more than that, but I just kind of went through at the beginning of the year, and I'm like looking at everything. I'm like, what do I want to spin up this year? And I picked out 13. I don't know why I picked 13, but I think 13. I think I wanted 10, but then there were like 3 that stood out to me that I like wanted to do. And what I'm doing is I'm rotating one from this list with one that I purchased this year. So I've been to 3 fiber events. I went to Greencastle, 4. I didn't buy anything in Kentucky, so that doesn't count. So I went to Greencastle, I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I went to Kentucky. So I guess I have gone to 2. Oh, I was counting Rhinebeck in that because I had some stuff from Rhinebeck to spin up. So, and I bought fiber from all 3 of those events. So what I'm doing is I'm picking one from this list and then one from the event. One from this list, one from the event. So I just finished a Maryland spin. So then the next thing I'm going to knit up are some more rollags from the Woolly Witch, which that was the last non-fiber festival. They're actually right there. Right there, little pink ones, pink and white right there. And I think there's some blue in there too. And then when I get done with that, I'm going to be spinning this bat right here, right above it, that I bought in Maryland. And when I get done with that, I got some more rollags from the Lily Witch I'm going to spin. When I get done with that, I'm going to start on the stuff that I bought in, right here. I bought this in, where did I buy that? Greencastle. So I've got plans. I've got good plans for spinning and knitting. And I have my diamond painting cue, but that section I can just rip out. I have a sewing cue, but garment sewing isn't for me right now. So that's just not one of my goals for the year anymore like it was before. Maybe eventually, but not this year. So let's go through. So socks. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs of socks this year, which doesn't seem like a lot. And then I have 7 sock whips. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shawls, and I have 8, 9 shawl whips. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 either mittens, hats, cows, or scarves, and I only have 2 whips left on that. I finished one sweater poncho blanket, which was a baby blanket, so I don't know that it counts. And I have 6 whips left in that category. So overall, I know I have 24 whips because I counted before I came up here. And I'm about to have 26 because I'm casting 2 things on today. And I have 1, 2, but that does include my Cozy Memories and stained glass blanket, FYI, in case you were wondering. So total finished projects, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 knitted objects this year. So I'm going to have 26 whips, right? 24. I have 24 whips and I finished 25 things. So we're well on our way. No, it's gonna, I mean, it is what it is. My goal is to get through some of my languishing whips so I can, you know, when I see a project I want to cast on, I can cast it on immediately instead of having to add it to my queue. But regardless, it'll get done when it gets done. You know, I'm not stressing myself out about it. But anyway, so that's kind of how I keep organized, and I need to go now because I need to skein up 4 skeins of yarn for my cast on party tonight. And I need to edit the podcast and get it uploaded. I need to bake a cake because we are eating cake during Kim's cast on party today. And then when the cast on party's over, we have to go get groceries from the grocery store. I ordered them this morning. And then when that's done, I have to come home and put away groceries, make dinner, and then get right back on Zoom for trivia night. At some point today, I have to make questions for trivia night as well. So I've got a very busy day ahead of me. So stay tuned for all the fun things coming your way. Feel free to check me out on Instagram, Ravelry, or Etsy if you want to start a conversation or whatever there. I hope you guys really enjoyed this podcast. Don't forget about all the knit-alongs we have going on and all the things. And I'm just so excited. I have so much I need to work on, and I can't wait to share it with you guys in a couple weeks, because I think it's just going to be a couple podcasts just filled with finished objects, which is so exciting for me. So I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.